Hello everybody and welcome to my channel. My name is David, this is David K Reacts, and today I'm reacting to a video I've been advised to react to many times but told specifically to wait, which is always intriguing to me. And that is Home Free's take on Cam's Mayday. I have no idea who Cam is, I've never come across her work before. I believe her full name is Camaron Ochs, and she's one of the co-writers of this along with Tyler Johnson. But I have absolutely no idea what I'm walking into here, and the fact that I was told to wait makes me even more intrigued. I got the impression it was so that I could know the group, but I'm not 100% sure, to be honest. But that would make sense to me, like, you know, wait until you know, folks. The general recommendation was to wait until I'd done at least 5 reactions before I did this. I've done 7, so I'm hoping that's enough. I would like to throw out thanks, because I'm remembering to do this now, for Mayday. I have thanks to give to Amanda Sarah, Bill McDonald, Tark1187, and Gaia1, all of whom recommended this to me. I don't remember if everybody there said wait, but certainly most people did. I've seen others recommend it or mention it in comments on my channel as well, and all with that kind of bracket of... you know, you should wait. Just going to move that. It looks a little quiet on my board here. But yeah, other than that, I have very little to say about this one. I looked it up just to sort of see who it was even by, which is how I found out about Cam. It got to number 32 on the US Hot Country Songs Billboard, and 34 on Canada Country. Written for Cam's album Untamed. It was, I think, the 3rd single, maybe. Came out in 2016, February 2016. And that's kind of all I've really got. I don't know what I'm going into here. Cam herself, an American country music artist. So I'd be curious there. You know, I feel like although Home Free can do a lot of things, country is sort of, for want of a better phrase, home base. You know, sort of, I think every group has their foundation. My guess would be they started with kind of country style stuff, or at least very quickly moved into it, because it seems to be something that they're extremely comfortable doing. And that's usually kind of like a grounding spot for the group. But I don't really have much more I can add, because I don't know enough about the song to add it. Other than to say welcome back to my channel, or welcome if this is your first time here. I'm going to watch this video straight through without stopping, and just emote and comment over the top. And then I will go back and watch it again from the beginning, and this time I will interrupt, and I will offer what commentary or analysis I feel like I can. So if you're just here for the reaction, the first quarter or so of the video should be good for you. It'll be time-stamped. Anyway, that's how I work. Please do like the video if you enjoy this. Do hit that subscribe button. It's completely free to you, does magic things for me. It's the best way of getting the channel noticed, I think, or certainly one of the top ways. And you don't even have to be told when I'm releasing videos. You can hit that notification bell and select none, if you like. Or you can select all and be told every time I release a video. Or just do some. Any of those, but the subscription button would be amazing. I'm really, really happy with how my channel is growing, and I just want to keep it growing more. You can also, if you wish, head over to buymeacoffee.com/DavidKReacts, and there you can donate to support the channel. And I did just want to say quick thanks to someone, and it's someone when somebody doesn't give their details on the Buy Me a Coffee page, so I don't actually know who that person was, and to Adam B. Both of these folks bought me coffees recently, and I am extremely grateful to you for donating to the channel. Thank you very much indeed. Okay, without any further delay and with no more knowledge that I can impart prior to watching this, let's just jump into Home Free's Mayday and find out what the fascinating reason is why I was told to wait on this one. I'm really excited for this. Here we go. Oh, that'll do it. Hi, Tim. What are you doing up there? Wow, I knew he could sing high, but his voice sounds great here. Ooh, hello. Oh, that harmony's lovely.
Mayday, Mayday.
Oh.
This is an emergency. Mayday, Mayday. You gotta
Oh, this is a lovely melody, and Austin also sounds lovely singing.
and you can't hear me call Mayday. Said I'm moving on 'cause things were getting rough, but here I am in your bed.
Oh, gorgeous.
I've strung it on too long, afraid to be alone. Now we're in
I've always said I love the combination of Rob and Austin. Never thought I'd be adding Tim into that list. Oh, my mouse is
Set my heart into to leave it all behind and say goodbye forever.
Beautifully sung, sir. Oh, oh, that's gorgeous.
Mayday, Mayday. This is an emergency.
It's interesting, Austin being the chorus man.
Mayday,
And obviously everyone gets their bit, but he's so often the lead. Yes. Oh, halftime breakdown, like it. Oh.
Could you please help me leave? Oh, abandon ship with me. Yeah.
Ooh! Didn't see that coming.
Mayday, Mayday.
Oh, hello, Chance. He's been singing bass the whole time, hasn't he?
Mayday, Mayday.
Oh!
You gotta let me leave.
Oh, hi!
Here inches away.
That was great.
You can't hear me call Mayday. Mayday, Mayday.
Oh, that's nice. That's nice, just the first line of both the verse and the chorus. Oh, I love the cinematography in this too. Some great shots in here. Okay. Gentlemen, that wasn't what I expected. I absolutely see why people told me to wait now, because if you don't know the group dynamic and what the group is capable of, that is not going to hit as hard. Or, I mean, it will do. It'll sound fantastic. But you don't get that surprise element of, like, musical chairs that's going on here, where Tim decides to be Austin for a day and Adam, Chance, drops into his boots. Which is not what, I mean, obviously I know he sings bass occasionally. I kind of didn't even think about who was singing bass, but it makes sense that it was him throughout. But to have him suddenly plummet to whatever that was, I'll figure that out as we go along. That was very unexpected, and I think, yeah, you definitely need to know the group for that to have its full impact. That was great. I also really like that song. I need to go and listen to the Cam original at some point and see what she does, but very poignant music. You know, the obviously a relationship that's disintegrating. But I enjoy the fact that amongst that, they've sort of got a lot of like nautical imagery going alongside Mayday, abandoned ship, you know, this sort of thing. It's a really nice kind of corollary to the song that's being sung. Wow, that's really cool. Oops, always do that. Home Free's not great at this, are they? No, not much information. Directed, shot, and edited by Green Shoe Creative. I mean, great job, Green Shoe Creative. I'm sorry we don't get a little bit more information on each of the home free videos about who does what on this and things like that, because I think some of the lighting design, which I assume most of it is like in production, some of it might be post, but that caught me. I'll be talking about that as we go through. I thought that was really, really interesting. There's some really, really solid moments in this. Let's go back. Let's watch this again, and this time I will do my my analysis run of it. This is great. Okay, so first thing, yeah. Oh, 1 second. I'm getting shorter. There's so many things about this opening shot. Firstly, straight in on the song. I think you get dum 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 dum. Is it 4 dums? Yeah, the 5th dum, and Tim's in and singing, and that's it. That's all you get. It's a very sharp beginning, and actually, I think that's great. I adore this shot we've got here, where we're coming in on this. We don't know anything about the song. I mean, pretend for a moment you don't know anything about the song coming in. It's not warm, happy fuzzies. And so the fact that we're starting this on a shot with Tim on his own, the lighting is blown out in the windows behind, which, I mean, it makes sense to do anyway, so that nothing outside of the building distracts the viewer from what's going on, inside. But it's very stark here, where you have this sort of these very obvious structural elements, and then just white over Tim's left shoulder and a little bit behind him as well. But this blue tint we've got here, it's cold. It's not a color that encourages, feelings of warmth and happiness. It's cold. It's not necessarily sad. We don't know that yet, but it leans towards a lower end of the emotional spectrum. It's not going to encourage a high. And it's really nice that we start out with that, because immediately we are setting some kind of tone. And that's exactly the thing. We don't know it's sad. We don't know where the song's going. We just know it's not going to be super happy, fuzzy times. And it's a simple beginning, but that's all it needs to be. It's one of the things I think all of these groups are so good at, is they do what needs to be done and no more. And that's, I feel, is what's going on right here.
You are overbearing, I'm not in love.
Also, just the register Tim is singing in here, to anyone who has seen Home Free prior to this video, Tim doesn't always go down to the bottom of his range, but if you've seen 2 or 3 of their songs, you've probably heard him drop. And then if you see, you also may know Tim from elsewhere, like you've seen his video with the Bass Gang, or his awesome sub in the Just Sing video that VoicePlay did, where they brought all of their collaborators in, and he just suddenly comes back on and sinks down into the bottom of his range. Things like that, and then you see this, and this is what I would expect Austin to be singing. And the choice to make Tim the lead for this first verse is great, and so unexpected.
I don't wanna tell you, but we've been contemplating how to give it up, but I can't convince you.
He sounds so good up there too, like for a bass who has a very solid bottom range. Like, I mean, his growl is famous. He taught, I think if I'm not mistaken, he taught Jeff Castellucci how to growl. He also has some solid subs on him as well, but also just a really nice, low baritone bass voice. And for him to be able to hold up well at the top end of the spectrum, like, where is he? And I know that's not his top note, but just as a perspective, I should have had my piano up already. That's an F sharp 4, I think. Just listen to that one more time. Yeah, so he's singing an F sharp 4 there. That's That's a pretty solid note for someone who has such a low range. And he goes higher. But this is just not where you expect a bass to be comfortable singing. This is great. Anyway, I got some cinematographic stuff as
You
well.
are overbearing, I'm not in love. I don't wanna tell you, but we
So, this is lovely too. Then we switch from that blue solo shot to a group shot in this space with natural lighting. Or at least close to natural. And it creates an interesting look because there's clear space between everybody here. They're in a completely bare room. It's a really I'd love to know what this room even is, because you can see just over Tim's left shoulder right now there's a crane hook hanging down. Like, what is this room? Because it seems like it's got this kind of glossed concrete floor. I would have said it was like a loft apartment or something like that if it had more walls in it or what have you, but it looks like it's industrial. I'm curious. I don't know what this space is. But anyway, you have the shot. They've still got the blown out windows behind. Again, that is a very logical choice for not having the distracting background behind you, but it also creates this stark image of white that blacks out, effectively, what is happening out there and therefore keeps the viewer within the building.
been contemplating how to give it up, but I can't.
And then we cut back to Tim, and what's interesting here is we've gone from Tim as part of the group where they're all quite nicely front lit and we can see faces clearly. We cut back here, and even though we've lost that blue, we've now got this almost Phantom of the Opera type thing going on, where there's one side of the face that's very well lit and one side of the face that's still in darkness. We're still not seeing him clearly when he's on his own. And so it creates this kind of isolation where in a solo scenario he doesn't have any warmth at all. And it's interesting because of the tone of this song. You know, it makes a huge... The first words, this song, you are overbearing, I'm not in love, I don't want to tell you. Like, ouch. You're in a relationship with this person and they've become so much that you don't love them anymore, and you're, what, afraid to tell them? That's a difficult scenario to be in. So to put the soloist in a place where they are looking isolated is a really smart decision.
We've been contemplating how to give it up, but I can't convince you. We've been hopelessly holding too tight.
This is so simple too, this stomp figure, where it's just a right foot, left foot, right foot, left foot. It's so simple. And it's not like they're doing like a right foot, left foot. Like it's a very gentle sway that's more a balance thing than it is really a movement. And it's so small. It's a really nice way of starting. And the great thing with this is we've gone from, like, Tim's walking in his solo, but when we come to the group, they're static for the first shot. They're just singing, but they're not, or there is, the singing going on, but they're not moving much. And then this is just this very gentle movement that's added in, very small movement. And it just etches things up a step. I also really like this accompaniment that's going on, just dum 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 dum. Very effective. It's not dum 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 dum. It's gentle dums, but it's still got pulse to it. It's not like something like that's a bit more like ephemeral. There's a definite but the chosen enunciation of the D, dum 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 dum. It's very, very subtle. It's reserved, and so it gives them so much space to work with.
Convince you, we've been hopelessly holding too tight, but we don't even need to.
And now the blues back again. It's lovely. We're never seeing Tim comfortable. With the group, more so because that's the group shot. That makes sense. But in these solo shots, he's never comfortable.
And as the water fills this sinking ship, I know we have to leave too.
Up to the G sharp 4. Nice.
Water fills this sinking ship, I know we have to leave too. Oh.
Lovely entry from Rupp. I love what he did there. It's not showy. It's just bringing drums in. It's very, very simple. It's almost more like you could kind of have degrees of how much showboating you're doing in a moment, and this song does not want you to showboat. It's a serious song, and the balance that Chris has struck here of having cool drums that don't stand out in any way is fantastic.
Have to leave too.
I love this figure too. What a lovely, lovely, this kind of wail. It's never really, you never get the sense it's going to go somewhere happy, but that moan down. You go up to the third. If we went up there, it would be happy. But what they've done is, instead of using the major chord of da 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 da, it's the relative minor. So da 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 da, which the idea with relative major, relative minor, I think I've explained this before, but they have the same key signature. But instead of starting on the tonic note, you start on the sixth and carry on from there with the same key signature. And there's usually an accidental involved, depending on the variety of minor scale that you're performing. But it's the same. You're fundamentally using the same system, but for a sadder sounding scale. And so you can shift between those two very easily because they're naturally related to each other. And you could almost expect it to go somewhere happy. And then that moan down to the tonic of the relative minor just brings it back down again. It's really nice piece of melody. I'm assuming that's from the original. I don't know. I'm guessing. But it's a lovely, lovely melody line. Lovely harmony there as well. Was that Rob? Yeah, looks like Rob. That's a lovely harmony there. And again, this comes to a slightly more settled place because we're going to come back into the tonic for the beginning of the tonic of the major for the beginning of the chorus, I think. Oh, no, we're not. Sorry, I tell a lie. We're starting on the fourth. But we're still starting in a more major key, and we're going to resolve down to the first. Do, do, do. We're going to go to the first for the next chord. But it's just that setup there of we're going to have a sad moment, we're going to have an unresolved moment, and then we're going to go into the chorus, which actually doesn't even start as resolved as I thought it was going to. It starts slightly unresolved. Great choice.
Mayday, Mayday, this is an emergency. Mayday, Mayday, you gotta let me.
I really like that. Again, I'm guessing this is from the original, but that timing of that, the Mayday, Mayday, break. This is an emergency. It's nice. It's not, there's something studied about it where, you know, if you were naturally giving a Mayday in a situation, it would be a lot more panicked than that, I would think. Well, I don't know. I say that. I've heard flight recordings of pilots giving extremely calm Mayday messages because you're, you know, trained to expect that. And I think most people that do that job are kind of bring out the best of themselves in that moment. But, you know, if it were me doing it, it'd be like, Mayday, Mayday, it's an emergency. You don't... obviously not that, but you know what I mean. It's a panicked feeling when you're in trouble. And there's something about the way this is written that still expresses the trouble without the panic. And I love it because it's just this very considered, everything's gone wrong. There's something lovely about this. It's very sad, but there's something very beautiful about it.
Mayday, this is an emergency.
Oh, I wanted to go back actually.
Oh.
I love this shot. This is, again, isolation. It's just Austin standing against a black background. He's looking into light, but there's no real hope from that light in this. He's very closed off. The body language is tight. It's a lovely shot. And just the splash of color from his shirt. The cinematography in this is fantastic.
Mayday, Mayday, this is an emergency. Mayday, Mayday.
Oh, and that little flip there too, where he kind of goes up into the head voice for the Mayday, Mayday, Mayday. Or it's the Mayday. He switches voices slightly there. And oh, there's something quite heart-wrenching about that second time he says it, where it just has that element of crying into it. Oh.
Emergency, Mayday, Mayday.
Really effective.
You gotta let me leave. I'm lying here inches away.
There's something, I feel like this might be I know Austin's had some musical theatre training. I'm wondering if there's a little bit of that coming through here too, because there's a lot of acting quality that's going into what he's doing here. It's feeling very emotional and very intentional in what he's doing. It's absolutely lovely.
You get me leave. I'm lying here inches away.
Oh, and the harmony that's going underneath there, that must be Chance, I guess, who's doing that. Was it?
You gotta let me leave. I'm lying here inches away. And you
It's such a rich chord that they're forming with that lovely bass down at the bottom. It's just beautiful. They've got this beautiful harmonic balance that they've got going on here, so that the chorus underneath is kind of moving as a unit. It's not, there's a reasonable breadth to it because of the vocal qualities that are going on, but it's not actually terribly far apart. But it's forming this perfect sort of union of sounds to support the melody that's going on. It's really nice.
let me leave. I'm lying here inches away. And you can't hear me call Mayday.
Oh, that's gorgeous too. It's not the end of a song, so it's not quite there, but it's verging on what we would call a plagal cadence, which is resolving from a 4 to a 1, as opposed to a perfect cadence, which would be resolving from a 5 to a 1. But just this here. So that's such an interesting figure too, because it's the 3rd to the 7th just underneath. The 7th that goes in there gives it a sense of uncertainty. But that resolution back in again. Oh, lovely stuff.
Said I'm moving on 'cause things were getting rough, but here I am in your bed.
Yeah, I said this while I was watching for the first time, but I've always loved Austin and Rob taking over from each other because their voices blend together so well, but with different qualities. To add Tim into that mix as well and have the three of them kind of passing off for this song, oh, that's fantastic. And Tim, I am astonished at how well Tim fits in up there. It kind of doesn't surprise me because I knew he had high notes in him, but the quality of his voice is so pure there. That's, I think, what's really getting me. Like, he sounds just as pure as Rob does, just, again, with yet another voice type. And so the three different voices are all distinct, but they all blend together so well.
Moving on 'cause things were getting rough, but here I am in your bed. I strung it on too long, afraid to be alone. Now we're in over our heads. It's either sink or...
It's such the emotion that's being evoked by this, and I love Rob's voice for this line actually, where he's sort of saying we've strung it on too long, now we're in over our heads. There's something about the quality he's putting into it. It's innocence, I think. Like, it's kind of that sense of, yeah, we didn't do good, and it's not. Like, it's not. I think there's something about the reservedness of this that speaks to a relationship going wrong over time. You know, you don't get the sense that this is like a sudden hit a brick wall and stop dead. You get the sense that it's this slow deterioration. And I'm going to come onto it, but I think that's one reason why this song can be forgiven for fading out. That's a personal thing. We'll get to that. But yeah.
To be alone, now we're in over our heads. It's either sink or swim. We've tried so many times for...
Oh, also...
it on too long, afraid to...
Oh, firstly, I didn't talk about Rob's background here. This is really nice too. I love that we've got this kind of grey-brown, I assume it's like a filter curtain behind. I'm guessing he's in the area that's maybe off to the left of the main screen, where we can see sort of chairs and a few more lights in the background. I'll point it out later. But I also love this nice touch here that this grey-brown background goes really... Oh, I'm sitting way too far back, sorry. This grey-brown background is going really well with the brown of the jacket that he's wearing here as well. It just blends really nicely. And the lighting here too, this sense that he's lit from both sides but not from the front. You're still not seeing a whole face in the light in these solo sections.
To be alone, now we're in over our heads.
Yeah, so I think he's probably standing, if you look to the left of the screen now, over here. I think he's probably over there where we can see chairs. And that's almost like a nice touch in this. Sometimes I'd say something like that would be distracting in the video, but the fact that it's in more darkness, you've still got the whitewashed windows with the lighting there, and the sense that you've just got this... the comfortable area is over there and we're not doing anything with it. We're in the stark... uncomfortable concrete floor, no chairs to sit down area. There's something really cool about that.
It's either sink or
Yeah, there. So that's the other thing I was
now
going back
we're in over our heads. It's either sink.
for. Just that moment there of the blue washing over the screen, and then almost with this white effect too. You get this. It's interesting because it's kind of got a bit of a maritime feel to it, like a wave's just gone by. Excuse me, wave's just gone by, and now there's the mist it's left behind it, and the sort of spume from the waves. But it's also harkening back to that cold light, just for a brief second, that I was talking about with Tim. There's a lot has gone into this.
Go swim, we've tried so many times for worse or for better. It tears my heart
Oh, and there it is again.
to leave it all behind.
Sorry, I am momentarily distracted, but now we can see this is an entire, like, warehouse-length crane unit that's in the back. What is this building? You don't expect that in a building that's got quite such beautifully polished floors and no, like, shelving or stacking stuff. I'm just kind of fascinated by that. This shot is great. The sparseness of it all, there's nothing in this shot that really inspires warmth. Everything is cold. It's just concrete and metal and empty walls, no pictures up or anything like that. You know, harsh white lighting. It's I love the aesthetic of this video. It's fantastic.
For better. It tears my heart in two to leave it all behind and say goodbye forever.
I like that there's also some gentle greens coming in some of these transitions. Just this one here, and then I want to talk about Rob singing.
Goodbye forever.
More maritime colors. It's nice. I love that little grace note he gives there. He just slides up a little bit, doesn't land bang on it. Just a lovely little embellishment there that gives him that sense of, oh, it's sad. It's very effective. And then we get this absolutely stunning background vocal. That whoa, 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 whoa is so effective. It's unsettling, it's kind of unbalancing a little bit, and it's just got this lovely sense. The chords are actually very pleasant, but there's something about them that just, it doesn't allow something to fully settle. It doesn't allow it to sort of land. It kind of carries on a little bit drifty, which of course is exactly what's happening in this relationship. And then it leads them on to do that again in a minute. Yeah, it's kind of that whole, it's led into them then following around because you've already got the sense that the chorus is moving underneath. And so they can fit in with that so very well.
Mayday, Mayday, this is an emergency.
Oh, this is really nice too. I love this for Austin. Just sitting in the chair. The leather is an interesting choice because we get this flash of white behind him right now where the light's reflecting off it, but it still feels cold. You know, leather chair, it might seem like something really fancy, but in this setting, with the background behind the empty wall, he's not back against the wall. You know, there's several feet behind him. There's nothing behind him to give a reason for that. He's not at a desk or anything like that. He's just in the middle of nowhere sitting isolated. And then the ringing of the hands as well. It's, oh, this is lovely.
Mayday, Mayday.
What is he singing up there? Oops. So he's up on a B4.
You gotta say Mayday. This is an emergency. Mayday, Mayday. You gotta let me leave.
I actually want to take a second here and just credit Rupp with what he's doing, because I'm not talking about him much because there's other things that constantly keep happening and distracting me away, whereas he's very constant in this. But actually, one of the things he does so well in this, and I mean no disrespect by this term, is he slightly fades into the background. And it's because he's doing such a good job supporting and not doing more than is necessary that he is just the perfect percussive accompaniment to everything that's going on. But his work in this is superb. Like, he really is holding up everything that's going on. And the beat that he's got is, it's you know, it's rhythmically great for the rhythmic harmonies that are going on above. But I also love the choice of sounds that he's using. This kind of almost clap snare that he's got, and the kind of, there's something reserved about the bass drum sound. I'm sure, in fact I know he can do a more robust sound than that, but it's not necessary for this, and it's a small thing, but what a difference it could make.
Hey, Mayday. You gotta let me leave. I'm lying here inches away, and you can't hear me call.
Oh, that harmony there as well. The "you can't hear me call." The change they have under that.
Lying here inches away, and you can't hear me call Mayday.
Oh, and that little run there. Call Mayday. Lovely. But I love that it said, "You can't call, you can't hear me call." And underneath here, "you can hear." Yeah, just after he sings here, they shift up into that next chord up in the chain, and it's just, the timing of that is so lovely. It's so nice when you get that change that allows the melody to be on the same note for a second and yet sound completely different because of what's going on underneath. Ah, really nice choice here. This shot right here where we're just seeing Rupp. Interestingly, with him, we've got a tiny bit of color because we've got the girder that's supporting the crane and also this little red light behind him as well. I'm guessing he's on the balcony now, partly because obviously he's up with the crane, but also the railings on the left. But what's interesting with him is we don't have the blown out windows here. We actually see the trees outside the window. So there's almost a tiny bit more openness to this, and yet somehow it's still extremely solitary. But what I love about this is we see him for just a second, and it tells us that he's about to do something different because we're about to go into the halftime break. And it's nice because it sets him in our mind. And even though he's going to kind of fade to the back again a little bit, again, deliberately so, no sort of critique intended with that. It's a great choice. But our mind is on him for just a second, so we hear the beginning of it. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, we're about to see him. We see like the first couple of beats that he hits. Yeah, so we get that. And it's just enough to tell us what's going on. It's not the it's we're breaking down into the halftime now. And we get a visual of that even as we hear it, and it just helps train the ear. You see it, you hear it, you go, okay, that's what we're doing, and then take in everything else that goes on. Oh, I love that little string of "Gotta Let Me Leave" there. I think that's probably Rob and Tim. Gotta let me leave. Just really nice that you have it 3 times in a row there. That's very effective.
The weight will make us sink.
And there's that whoa, 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 whoa again, and it gets cut off this time. So it's subverting expectations a little bit because we know to expect it to carry on, but this time we cut off to go into the next line.
The weight will make us sink.
That's lovely too, because while he's doing the whoa, we've got someone doing whoa, or whatever the notes are.
Will make us sink. Could you please help me leave?
Oh, it's so good. Just the amount, and what I love with this as well, I don't know if you noticed this, but the camera hasn't stopped moving. It keeps shifting around, and everyone's getting a bit more dynamic. Now, it's sitting down even, Austin's moving around a bit more. We had Rupp doing a lot of hand movements as he was beatboxing. Like, everything's getting a bit more dynamic. And that camera's moving real fast as it sweeps across there.
Could you please help me leave? Oh, abandon ship with me. Yeah.
And I love that Rupp gets that little fill there, and he's the last one we see as he goes into the... And it just sets the mind that he's just done something. And that chord, my goodness, what was that chord progression they just did? That chord is not where I expected them to end. That is not at all what I would have expected at that point, and I love that. It's such a great move to do something unexpected there.
Mayday, Mayday, this is an emergency.
Oh, that shot right there.
Mayday, Mayday.
Firstly, I love how quiet the accompaniments become now, just going back to the ooh, whatever the notes are they're singing, but just pulling right back into that and letting Chance have his moment. But, oh, I got him at the creepiest moment. One more time.
Mayday, Mayday.
Right there, we start on this blue light from one side, white light from the other. Again, center of the face not entirely lit. We do have that burst of color because he's up on the balcony, but the blue coming in from the side, and now the windows are blue washed with light. They're cold. You do have the warmth over Chance's shoulder right now. It's kind of giving a little bit of a binary sense of, is there a way out of this here? Just for a second. And of course we're going to find out, no, there isn't, at least during the length of this song. But this looking down and just this gentle look up he does in this shot here is so powerful to me.
This is an emergency.
And the camera is suddenly so still. Like it panned across him while he was in the group. But here I think is the stillest it's been all video.
Mayday, Mayday.
Ooh, very nice, sir. What is that? Day. Let's add a lower octave to my piano. I think he's touching on a B1 there. Nicely done.
See, Mayday, Mayday.
And I think they've doubled him here because it's all of a sudden the sound is very much more powerful, and not in a way that he's suddenly singing more powerfully, although I'm sure he's there's a strong sound coming out of him. But I also think they've doubled it, and so it gives it this very effective kind of blaring quality to it that really kind of stands out and leads into where we're going next. It's also kind of got a sense of like being like a ship's horn almost, and sort of carrying on the maritime feel there as well. I just said blaring, and I was like, that kind of, yeah. That's interesting. I'm really impressed with Chance here.
Mayday, Mayday, this is an emergency. Mayday, Mayday.
You gotta let me leave alive.
And then you get that the move from Rupp, the camera starts moving a little bit more, and then this push in here is quite fast. We're back up to full speed now.
Mayday.
You gotta let me leave. I'm lying here inches away, and you can't hear me call Mayday.
Oh, that's all so lovely. And there's these little embellishments that that Austin's putting in as he sings those different lines. He's doing such a good job of just working this slightly differently each time. It's really, really lovely.
Mayday, Mayday, I don't wanna tell you. Mayday, Mayday, I don't wanna tell you.
Now this is so nice. We've got Austin singing the two Maydays, but not the lines that come after them. So just the Maydays. Mayday, 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 Mayday. And then Rob singing, this is the first two lines of the song, right? And he just repeats them. And it's such an effective device to use at this point, because you have this lovely counterpoint, musically speaking, and you have the juxtaposition of somebody who's singing constant words the whole time with somebody who's just crying out for help. That is so effective. Okay, Rob Tim harmonizing is gorgeous. Thank you very much. And this is great. You're just building up. You have the cry for help, and the problem, the sound, the verbalizing of the problem is increasing in volume because you've added somebody else there. It's increasing in breadth. It's increasing in potency. Ah, this is so good. I love what they've done with this. I was actually stopping to comment on I love the fact that you almost don't hear Chance. He's not as strong in this because of everything that's going on above, and yet he's keeping that solid bass line going throughout. He's doing a great job of this. Love it. But this shot too. I love this. The fact there's somewhere to go in this shot. You could go down the stairs, wherever the stairs lead to, but they're caged off and locked behind a door. Don't know if they're locked, but, you know, metaphorically speaking. I love that it's just like there is a way out of this particular frame and you can't reach it. That's so perfect for what this song is talking about. Also, brooding Tim. This is just great. This is a very, very good still. Oh. Lovely stuff. Oh, and then the little wash of blue again. Ah! And that, I saw that before. This is great. Right here, right before we fade to black, there's a defocus on the group. You can just see it here. They've gone out of focus. And it's just a really nice touch that we lose that focus before we lose and fade out. And I love that there's the little blue wash over the fade out to black. This is great. Kudos, serious kudos to Tim and Chance in this. I mean, I guess Adam hasn't exactly played swapsies. I know he sings bass when Tim is doing other things. And he's the baritone, or like he's in that baritone region anyway. But to take on the whole bass of this song, and on top of that, to have an awesome bass drop in the middle of it, that's fantastic. And Tim, my goodness, sir, hearing you up there is fantastic. I really, really enjoyed the variety that they put in, and I think what's so interesting in this is it shows a new level of versatility for the group. What I also love for this, I saw American Country Singer, and I was expecting something a lot more country, and that's not really what we got. I'm going to have to go and listen to the Cam version now to understand what it is they've covered. But I actually really like their presentation of this song. I think the harmonies and the arrangement are fantastic, but it's also, it doesn't feel too stylized in any way. It doesn't feel very country. It's kind of got a poppy thing, but it's not too pop. You know, there's lots of things going on here, and I really applaud that. I think they've made it a very, very easy to access piece of music. And I just really love that song. It's extremely touching, very poignant. You know, there's a real tug at the heartstrings quality to it. I really enjoy that. This is great. Well played to Home Free. Yeah. Thank you very much for joining. I hope you enjoyed this video, maybe got something out of it, or if you hadn't heard the song before, welcome to the song. Go and click the link in my description. You can actually watch the whole thing through without me gabbing over the top of it. But yes, please do like this video if you enjoyed it. Hit that subscribe button. Hit the notification bell to choose how many notifications you would like. And if you would care to, do please head over to buymeacoffee.com/DavidKReacts, where you can donate to support the channel. Thank you for watching this video with me. I really appreciate it. I hope you're having a absolutely delightful, you know, I don't know, tea time, lunchtime, 11 Ziza time, I don't know, midnight snack time, whatever time it happens to be, wherever you are watching this. I hope it is a good one. Thank you very much for watching with me. Take care of yourself, and I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.